What's up, my peeps? Mrs. Zane Wu here, and welcome to ZW Nation. Today, I'm here to bring you a segment I have not done in a long time, and that is the "Is This a Parody?" Segment. Today's "Is This a Parody?" is Powerpuff Girls Z. If you all don't know about Powerpuff Girls Z, I've already done videos talking about Powerpuff Girls Z before. You should check them out on my channel. The What If Belle and Bonnie were in Powerpuff Girls Z. But for those of you all, who just don't know, Powerpuff Girls Z was Japan's adaptation, you could say, of Powerpuff Girls, which, the Powerpuff Girls already had certain Japanese stuff with it. Even had an episode with like a giant mech, which Powerpuff Girls Z also had, but I digress. We are here to break this down and see if Powerpuff Girls Z is indeed a parody or a true adaptation of the series, and we're going to find that out in a not interesting, what kind of interesting way. The way I have made the way I have made my Is This a Parodies in the past have been more me disliking the property that I'm talking about and just trash talking it. But there is one, the All Grown Up, the Rugrats All Grown Up. I did a Is This a Parody on that, and the style that I did it in interests me. And I believe that that is now the way I should do these, since I'm bringing them back. So, I've wasted enough time. I've wasted a complete minute trying to get into this thing. We're going to analyze the characters from America to Japan and truly decipher if Powerpuff Girls Z is a parody or not. So, yes, get right in and you start off with Blossom. Now, in the American version, Blossom didn't have the greatest character. She was that leader type. She was smart. She was a show off. And in Powerpuff Girls Z, she's not a kid. She's like a teenager. So they had her to be interested in boys. She's still smart, but it seems more like she's not the straight A student. She feels more like she would be kind of like a cheerleader-esque type. She really didn't feel quite like Blossom. Like, we do know that this carried over. Blossom in both versions were superhero fans. So that is a similarity, but for the most part, she feels like a different character. She feels like a stereotypical, main character from like a magical girl show, like Sailor Moon and stuff. Let's move on to my favorite Powerpuff Girls, Buttercup. For the most part, Buttercup is exactly the same. She is rough, tomboyish. In Powerpuff Girls Z, she's a huge wrestling fan, which I'm pretty sure the American Buttercup would be a wrestling fan as well. She hates the idea of wearing the skirts. She is kind of whiny, but both versions have been. So Buttercup they hit the nail on the head in Powerpuff Girls Z. It's going to Bubbles. Bubbles was the sweetheart. She was the kind one. She, was very bubbly and goofy and stuff. And for the most part, she's still that way in Powerpuff Girls Z. But where I said that Blossom was the smart one, the straight A type person in the American Powerpuff Girls. In Powerpuff Girls Z, it is Bubbles who is the smart one, the one who gets the good grades and etc. But I could see that being within her character. I would say he's move on to the villains. For the most part, most of the villains do kind of still seem like themselves. They were given different backstories, but they still seem like themselves. Mojo. He just loses. Okay, Mojo's a lot more goofier in Powerpuff Girls Z. than in the original Powerpuff Girls. He was very goofy in the original Powerpuff Girls, especially with his speech patterns. But he definitely feels different in Powerpuff Girls Z. He's way more goofier, and he doesn't come up with super smart, elaborate schemes like the other Mojo had. I guess because the difference in the backstory, the other Mojo was a lab monkey. This one came from like the zoo, and I don't know. He feels like a parody of what Mojo was supposed to be, especially with like the other one had a lot more depth and backstory. Um, I can't really talk on the mayor. I can't really talk on Miss Bellum. The professor kind of seems like itself. I guess just talk about him and the Rowdy Rough Boys. So, him is a lot different in Powerpuff Girls Z because both Hims were evil, they were schemers and etc. But him in Powerpuff Girls Z is literally the devil. Like, it's not, we kind of hint towards it. No, he is the devil. And he is way more darker. He's still goofy. Both Hims, they're both goofy. But he's a lot more goofier in Powerpuff Girls Z. Everyone seems to be more goofier in Powerpuff Girls Z. The Rowdy Rough Boys, they were ruined. They feel just like parodies to me in Powerpuff Girls Z. They are the childish, vandalism type boys that you would expect them to be, but in the original Powerpuff Girls, they were destructive. These boys in Powerpuff Girls Z were just like your stereotypical, I'm hit a girl on the ass, I'ma shoot spitballs and stuff at them. Nah. In the original Powerpuff Girls, they were goofy, they made fart jokes and etc. But they were destructive. They had real power. And maybe that's really what it comes down to as the narrative. Powerpuff Girls Z might just be a parody. Because in America, they were superheroes. In Japan, they were magical girls. Now, some may may argue and be like, but magical girls are superheroes. Sailor Moon is a superhero. And you would be right about that. But the amount of power that they have in the American version compared to them being limited to their weapons, and at one point it was said that their clothes were the reason they had those powers. They just didn't feel like superheroes to me. They felt like run of the mill, super depowered magical girls. You could even see it with the Roddy Road Boys. They were made the same way that the Powerpuff Girls were made. Therefore, they didn't really have power. So, to me, I'm sorry, like, even with the new style, the new way of doing this, comparing it character by character, some of them felt like they could be them, some of them didn't. It just feels a lot more goofier. Powerpuff Girls Z, to me, I'm sorry, you're a parody. You don't feel like the Powerpuff Girls. And I get that, Japan did it. It's an adaptation. But it really just feels like Japan was just making fun of us. I'm sorry. If you like Powerpuff Girls Z, if you never even heard of it, maybe you should go check it out and see for yourself. Because the show feels like a parody. I've been Mrs. Zhang Wu. I'm bringing back the Is This a Parody? If you like, give me that thumbs up. You know, subscribe, share. What you mean? Like or dislike, don't really matter to me. It helps either way. Also, because I've been talking about gaming and stuff, if you want to see people actually game, because my channel isn't really a gaming channel, giving a shout out to my boy Success in Darkness, and giving a shout out to the Curious One Gaming or Gamer. I've been Mrs. Zane Wu from the ZW Nation. Peace.